we interrupt the Waves music to bring you an interview from Contamination, St. Louis's own sci-fi, horror, and pop culture convention.
This is Gabrielle with KCFV 89.5, and I have wrestling legend here with me, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Mr. Duggan, where does the name Hacksaw come from and the use of the 2x4?
Well, excuse me, young lady, but the first thing Hacksaw Jim Duggan has to do is give a big ho! You know, kind of fires me up nowadays, gets me going. But, I started off as Big Jim Duggan, professional wrestling, with short hair and clean shaven. That didn't work. So then I wore a mask and I wrestled as a convict, and that didn't work. So I evolved into Hacksaw, and that just kind of came through. So after 36 years, probably 33, I've been Hacksaw. And the 2x4 actually came from necessity. Back in the old days, the crowds were very dangerous. Just getting back and forth from the ring was very tough, especially like in West Texas. And so the people would punch you and kick you and stuff like that. And Bruiser Brody told me, he says, if you carry something to the ring, carry something you can use. Forget the feathered boas and sequin robes. And I said, well, here's a piece of wood. And I came out waving that wood. It was like parting the Red Sea. I got right to the ring without getting punched, and it worked out great.
What is your opinion on the state of wrestling today, and how is it different from when you started your career?
Well, everything changes, and of course, wrestling has evolved quite a bit, like football or basketball or anything else. And a lot of folks are critical of today's product. But the way I look at it, there was 102,000 people at WrestleMania from 40 different countries. So the spirit of the product is very, very strong. You know, I do a lot of charity events with the NFL guys. I always ask them, I'm like, world champions, where in the world have you been? WWE, we go all over the world. Right today, the company's over in Shanghai, China.
And from my research on you, I learned that you ended up with knee injuries, and you were actually drafted by the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I was with the Falcons in 77 and then the Toronto Argonauts in 78. I played my college football for Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. But thank goodness I got out of football early enough to start a wrestling career, because I've been wrestling for 36 years. As a football player, I was a dime a dozen offensive guard.
If you had the choice between football and wrestling, and let's say the injuries didn't happen, would you still choose wrestling?
Oh, of course, yes. At 62 years old, my football career had been over 40 years ago, man. Wrestling, I'm still going strong. I can go over to Barcelona, Spain. People go, ho! And they'll go, who's Tom Brady?
Mr. Hacksaw, I appreciate the interview.
My pleasure, young lady. But before you go, kid, you got to give me a ho. Let's hear one, kid.
Ho!
That's a pretty good ho.
For more information about Contamination, check out their Facebook at facebook.com/contaminationstl. And for more interviews from the con, check out our Facebook at facebook.com/thewavestl. Stay tuned to 89.5 The Wave for more from Contamination.